Hello all, and welcome to the last of my little series about the IELTS test. Today we're just going to talk about some general tips. These are some of the tips that will help you through your test on the day. There's a little bit about writing, a little bit about reading, a little bit about speaking, but there's also making sure you are in the right frame of mind, that you're thinking the right way before the test and that you've prepared yourself for it. The IELTS exam, it's a long day. You've got 3 hours of pure testing without many breaks. You've only got about 5-minute breaks between the listening and the reading and the reading and the writing. Then you could have quite a long break before you're speaking. It could be up to 4 hours long, and you've got to sort of work out what to do in those times. So we're going to have a little bit of talk about those things and how to get yourself prepared, especially the day before. On the morning. Actually, no, let's not do on the morning. Let's do the day before your test. You see, I think IELTS preparation starts before the test day itself. I think you have to start getting your mind right the night before, in fact the day before. I wouldn't do any IELTS study the day before the test. There's no point studying. No. Why do I say that? Well, I think I say that because you can't learn anything more. You've done your study, you've done your practice, you've done everything you can. Now it's the time of doing the test. It's not like maths where you can maybe remember a final formula, or chemistry where you can remember the last symbol on the periodic table, or even history where you can remember those last few dates. No, IELTS is different from that. This is a test where you've slowly built yourself to a point, and one night, one day isn't going to make any difference. You're better off to relax. Go and see a movie. English movie. Always better, get your mind attuned to English. But you're not learning, you're just watching an English movie. The night before, have a nice dinner. Make sure you have something that's healthy for you. Something that the next day isn't going to make you feel horrible. Don't eat too much. Don't have anything spicy. And that's very important because you don't want to be in your writing test the next day going, oh no, I've got to go to the toilet. That's all bad. That's all bad. Because that takes time. It makes you uncomfortable and you can't concentrate on your test. So we really want to make sure you have a nice, simple dinner the night before. Go to bed early. Can't stress this one anymore. Must go to bed early. If you don't go to bed early, you'll be tired the next day. I've got it here. Tiredness will destroy your test, and it will. Because if you are tired, then you won't be able to concentrate. It's been proven in a lot of scientific testing that people who cram the night before a test do worse than those that don't, because you can't remember everything that you've crammed and you're so tired the next day, your brain doesn't work. So there's no point to doing it. It's very, very important not to study the night before the exam and get a good night's sleep. Don't sit there and text your friends. They can wait. What's important now is you and your test the next day. All right, let's move to test day. On the morning, get up early as you can to make sure you've got plenty of time to get to the test centre. Again, really important. Do you know, if you're not sure how long it takes to get to the test centre, really you should do a practice run a few days before the exam. See how long it takes to get there. And that way, on the morning, you won't be panicking because you're running late. If you are late to the test centre, they will not let you in. They'll say, thank you very much, have a nice day, we'll see you next time, with another 260,000 won. Or, if you're doing UKVI, another 320,000 won. So, it's a waste of your time, and above all, it's a waste of your money. So make sure you're at the test centre on time. But before you go, eat an energy-rich breakfast. You've got 3 hours of testing, no food. You can drink water, but no food. That's a long time, okay? So you need to have your energy up because you're going to be concentrating a lot. Again, nothing spicy, just good energy-rich food. Check when you leave, check, then double check. You've got your passport, double check, make sure. If you forget your passport, have a nice day because you won't be doing an IELTS test. They will not let you into either the main tests or the speaking test without your passport. So you must have your passport. Also, have 2 bottles of water, just small ones, 500ml bottles of water, no label, take the label off, with you. That's for you to sip during the test. Test centres have air conditioning and heaters, and it can get very dry. And there's nothing worse than going blah, blah, because you've got a horrible taste in your mouth or your mouth is dry. And again, you're not concentrating. And it's very, very important that you concentrate. Take with you a toothbrush and toothpaste. And this is important, especially if you're doing the test, the speaking test on the Saturday. If you're doing the speaking test on the Sunday, the next day, take your toothbrush and toothpaste with you then. Don't worry about the Saturday. But if you're doing the speaking test on the Saturday, make sure you take toothbrush and toothpaste. And we'll talk about that a bit later. Eat some fruit. About 20 minutes before the exam, before you go into the exam room, just have some fruit, some apple, banana, whatever. Just some fruit that'll give you a nice little energy kick and it'll keep you going throughout the day. It'll just add a little bit to your breakfast. Do not eat chocolate. And you know what? Coffee's not a good idea either. Coffee and chocolate take you up very quickly, but they bring you down very quickly. And they bring you down after about an hour or so because the energy from them is gone and your body then crashes and you tend to get very tired very quickly. That's why you want more chocolate or you want more coffee, because your body has lost the effect of it and it wants it back again. So we don't want to eat chocolate. We don't really want to drink coffee before an exam. Just have some nice fresh fruit, a little bit of water, and get yourself in there. Don't drink too much water. We'll talk about that in a minute. Okay? The other thing to do is to arrive early. Alright? If you arrive early, then you'll have plenty of time to sit down and to relax and to get your mind right. You're not going to be in a big long line of people waiting to register, standing in line. You want this time to be your relaxing time. So get there early, get registered, sit down, relax. There you go. Eat some fruit, sit down, relax. And that's it. Before the test is looked after, hopefully you're on time, you've given yourself plenty of time, and that your mind is now well and truly ready to go for the IELTS exam. At this time though, you should be thinking, this is going to be fun. Don't think about it as, oh my God, this is going to be hard, this is going to be horrible. Don't do that, because that's telling your brain that it's going to be hard and horrible. Tell your brain that it's going to be fun. During the test, you've all studied different strategies before your test. Reading strategies, listening strategies, writing strategies, speaking strategies. Follow them. Do not introduce any new strategies. Just do the ones you've practiced. If you haven't practiced any, time to start now. But you need to practice, you need to use the things that you know in the test. If you do that, then you should be able to do a good job in the test. But if you try to introduce new strategies, I think you could give yourself problems, and you might end up by running out of time or doing something wrong or forgetting to do something. Check your work. As you're going, check your work, especially with writing. Don't leave it till the end. Write a sentence, have a quick check of the sentence. Make sure your spelling's right. Make sure that your grammar is correct. Constantly checking your work, making sure things are done well. We've got some water, and we talked about that earlier, that you can sip water during the test, and it's important to do so, very important, so that you don't dehydrate. It can give you a little bit of energy, because as you're starting to dehydrate a bit, so your body doesn't feel as good, drink the water, you're back up again. Don't drink too much. There's only a couple of times during the test that you can go to the toilet. The first time is in the reading test, and it's 10 minutes after the reading test starts and 10 minutes before it ends. You'll be taken by an invigilator, they're the people that look after the exam, to the toilet, and then you'll be brought back. Only one person can leave the room at one time. So if you need to go to the toilet and someone else has gone, or 2 or 3 hands are up, you might be in a bit of trouble because you can't leave. If you walk out without an invigilator, that's the end of your exam. So make sure you don't drink too much water. And just to go back to before the exam, go to the toilet. Make sure you do, because you don't want to have to worry about it during the exam. So stay focused. You've got your strategies, you're checking your work, you're only sipping your water, you don't have to go to the toilet, you're in the best frame of mind for concentrating. Keep yourself that way. In between each test, rest. Don't worry about the test that's finished, it's gone. Your listening test, when it's done, that's it. You can't change anything. If you've done well, you've done well. If you haven't done well, well, so be it. You can't change it. So don't worry about it. Same with the reading test when that's done. You've done well, you've done well. You haven't. So be it. You'll find out in 2 weeks' time. You don't need to worry about it then. Just put your head down on your table and just rest for a few minutes and let your mind relax. You can start thinking about the next test. And enjoy yourself. Enjoy yourself. Hey, you're going to listen to some cool conversations and to some good lectures. You're going to read some interesting articles. You're going to express yourself on paper. And later on, you're going to have a really nice conversation with a really nice person in the speaking test. So just enjoy yourself and relax and have fun. Hey, it's costing you a lot of money. In fact, it's costing you more than if you were to go to Everland. And Everland's far more fun. So you've got to make this a lot of fun to make the money worth it. All right, what I want to do now is just give a special mention for speaking, because a lot of people find this is the most difficult test because there's a real person in front of you, and people get nervous when they're in front of a real person. It's good in a way that you're in front of a real person because it's easier to create a relationship and talk, but it's also difficult because you're very worried because it's a real person. So there's a couple of tips here to help you. First of all, the examiner's got a job to do. They want to examine your speaking during the exam. You shouldn't talk to the examiner before the test. You can say hello and how are you, that's fine. In fact, do that. Walk in, say hello, how are you? The examiner will go, I'm fine, how are you? And you say, I'm okay. The examiner will invite you to sit down. Please, have a seat. Sit down, be quiet. Don't say anything else until the examiner asks you something. And probably the next thing they ask you is, my name is da da da, can you tell me your full name please? And that's when you tell them your name. And just tell them your name, just whatever your name is. Don't explain how you got your name, don't explain the meaning of your name, just tell them your name. That's all they want to hear. During the exam, examiners might have certain mannerisms. Some might be very engaged with you, they're hanging on every word. Others sitting back, listening. Others might even close their eyes. Others, they might sort of, ooh, and have some facial expressions. This has nothing to do with you. This is just the examiner's way of concentrating on the test. Their mannerisms are not there for you. They're there to help them make sure they listen to your test in the best way they can. You shouldn't worry about them. If an examiner goes, that could just be a stomach cramp. You don't know. If they look disinterested, like they're, well, they might be still interested. In fact, they probably are. But it's their way of listening, especially in part 2. Either way, whatever happens, don't worry. Just keep speaking. Your job, and I've got it here, your job is to speak English well. That's what you need to do. You don't have to worry about anything else. You don't have to worry about time. See, that's the examiner's job. They'll make sure you only get 1 minute preparation time, and they'll make sure they stop you at 2 minutes. They'll make sure that you have 4 to 5 minutes of part 1 questions, and they'll make sure that you have 4 to 5 minutes of part 3 questions. You don't have to worry about it. Remember, in the IELTS speaking, you don't have to have a beginning, a middle, and the end. You don't have to stop by 2 minutes. You just keep talking. The examiner will say, thank you. And as soon as they say that, you're finished. And that's it. It's really not that difficult. Just talk for the time and enjoy yourself. And I come back to that, those 3 words, or 2 words, enjoy yourself. If you enjoy that conversation, that will be very helpful for you because you create a good relationship and you relax. Now, I'm just going to take a step back for a minute and just talk about before the speaking test. I mentioned before toothpaste. One of the things you want to be in the speaking test is confident. You don't want to sit there and think, oh my God, I've got a bit of lettuce on my tooth, or have I got chili in my mouth? It's little specks of red chili. You want to feel confident. Oh, does my breath smell? You don't want to be thinking about these things in the IELTS test. So 20 minutes before the test, go off, give your teeth a good brush, make yourself confident. And if you want to put on makeup or anything like that, do it. Whatever makes you confident in that speaking test. Confidence is a winner. When you're speaking, use your emotion. Be confident. Tell a story. The examiner loves that. Now, some of you will have a long wait before your speaking test. You might have 3 or 4 hours. During that time, do not go too far away from the exam centre. Because if you're late for your speaking test, again, sorry, you're not getting in. So you must be on time. In fact, you should be there 30 minutes beforehand. So please do not go too far away from the test centre. Anyway, that's about all I've got for you today. A few tips to help you through your IELTS test. When you're finished, remember, go home, relax, and don't worry. The result will be out in 2 weeks. Nothing you can do in between. Just have some fun. Thank you very much, guys. I hope these 4 sessions have helped you, and best of luck with your exams, and maybe I'll see some of you in mock tests. Have a great day. Bye-bye.